for a walk. It's a beautiful November afternoon, and I just can't miss this. So I was just thinking as I was walking through this little trail here, how many vegans actually cheat? And I don't just mean by eating junk food. I mean, how many of them from time to time eat animal products like meat, cheese, or I don't know, maybe cookies with eggs in them or something like that. I would guess that, and this is just a guess, I would say between 70 and 80%. But, and I don't have a problem with that. You see, when I was a young vegan, my first year of being a vegan, I ate meat probably about 4 or 5 times. And it was just, it was such a radical change for me from years of eating and loving meat and other animal products to suddenly do a 180 and become vegan. And that's literally what I did. And so the craving for certain kinds of animal products were still there, like rack of lamb, bacon, steak. All of those cravings were still there. And I felt like I was missing something. And the only way to really deal with that was to try eating them. And when I did go back to them, and again, this was just like a one-shot deal, it turned out that it wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be, and I just resumed being a vegan again. And I think a lot of, this is a predicament that a lot of young vegans find themselves in. It depends on, how long you've been eating the standard American diet, let's say. If you've been doing it for most of your life and then you suddenly make this radical change, you will have some serious habits to overcome. It's more in your mind than anything else. You just have this thing in your mind. You remember how good it tasted in the past. And it just, I don't know, I found it helpful just to have it, just to get it over with, get it out of my mind. And it worked. For me anyways, it worked. But the problem today is what's happening now, what I find in the vegan community, a lot of vegans would be afraid to admit that they have actually eaten animal products because they're afraid of the reaction they'll get from the vegan community. They're afraid of being looked down upon, of being judged, of being ostracized. And believe me, their fears are justified. I remember a girl on Facebook on a vegan platform confessing to actually having cheese or something like that. And most of the vegans, I'd have to say, were supportive on that platform. But there were a few there that friggin' just more or less were calling her a murderer and a rapist and all of that stuff, And like, how is that helpful for someone that is a young vegan just trying to, change a major lifestyle? How is that helpful? Vegans should not feel ashamed of admitting that they have, from time to time, for whatever reason, they don't need to even explain themselves, have chosen to eat an animal product. And I would rather have that kind of honesty, and as vegans we accept it, than to put a person in a situation where they feel like it's either black or white, that either they're vegans or they're not. And if they choose to eat an animal product, then they might as well go to the other side completely. That is, I think, although we may not necessarily consciously say that, that's kind of the feeling we put out there when we don't allow people to just be honest and be able to, start this vegan journey on their own terms, to be able to figure it out, to be able to deal with their own cravings. This takes years for some people, and we got to be more considerate about that, more compassionate. Like, I would rather see somebody be predominantly plant-based, even if they ate meat once a month or whatever. I'd rather see that than a person not even attempting to go plant-based because of a radical point of view coming from the vegan community. Let's be more open-minded. Let's be more considerate and compassionate. I mean, a lot of vegans today that are hard-line forget their own struggles and their own journey that they were on, and the times that they went back to animal products. They forget all of that. I mean, where does the journey begin? For some people, it begins with vegetarianism. For some people, it begins with, I don't know, doing meatless Mondays. But let's be open here. Let's encourage people that are even considering going plant-based. Anyhow, I'm going to continue my walk. So I just came across these wild apples that have fallen off the tree. And let me turn the camera around here. I'm eating one that I just picked up off the ground. And I have to say, this taste right here, that tastes really good. Yeah. Wow. You can't buy apples like that in the store. A lot of people, they wouldn't, oh, it's on the ground, you know, they wouldn't touch it, but because it's a little bit bruised and ugly looking. Maybe some insects have been at it, but wow. Oh, that's a treat. That is a treat.